Seven-figure contractors, this is how you scale with systems. We're giving you 5 keys to scaling your business from $1 million to beyond. If you're doing less than that, this is going to be a good practice to know what to get into place to reach those high levels of success. All right, you know me, my name is Derek. All right, jumping in here, I'm going to share with you 5 keys to scaling your business with systems. If you're doing 7 figures, to get to that, 2, 3, 5 million, 10 million mark and beyond. Systems, it's all about the foundation of your business, right? You can't grow a business, you can't build a building on an old, crumbly, bad foundation. You need a solid, good quality foundation to make sure that your business is going to last decades, if not centuries. So I'm going to dive into that right away. Give this video a big thumbs up. I appreciate you for doing that. All right, number 1, you with me here? So the first thing to scaling contracting company with systems, if you want to do 7 figures and above, is to have consistent lead gen system in place, because maybe you've got here with a lot of referrals, maybe you got a little branding, you got some marketing in place, but you're really going to need to step it up to the next level to make sure that you have a lot of consistent marketing in place to be driving clients into your business. Proper lead gen, so you're not going through those big ups and downs, and so you can be choosy with the work you get, and you're not going to be in this constant boom and bust, hiring guys, laying off guys, stressed out all the time if you're going to have enough work. So you should always have your business throttled properly so that you are able to let work go. You're able to set your prices to be competitive, because as you grow and scale, there's going to be new levels of management, new systems and expenses that are going to come into place that are just part of owning a larger business. So your margins and your pricing have to be really aligned in order to grow and scale. If you're not making much money right now and you're doing about $1 million in sales or $2 million in sales, if you go to 5 or 10 million or above, you're just going to be that much, in harder times, because you're going to be at those types of levels. You need layers of management, and you're going to need other expenses that you're probably not paying for right now. So does that make sense? The first one, consistent lead gen. Second one that you're going to want to look at, really improving as you scale. And this isn't just about hiring people, it's about creating the system. This is admin support. So the second point is admin support. And a good way to get ready for this is to have a delegate list. It's one of my favorite lists to have. And whenever I'm doing a task and it's like, oh, I really don't like doing this task, or oh, this task is like pretty easy and simple, I could probably just, train someone in this in a short amount period of time. Put that on your delegate list. Soon you'll have a list populated with 10, 20, 30, maybe 100 different tasks that would be easy to delegate, things you don't like to do, things that you just need to create a process for. And that is when you need to go to the drawing board and how do I build a process for this task? How do I build a process for that task? Build out those processes and then delegate it to an admin. You might have a personal assistant or admin right now that you could give those tasks to, or you hire someone in new. It could be part-time, but once you reach above $1 million, you're going to have additional admin support to make sure that balls aren't getting dropped and all those back-end tasks and things are getting taken care of. So does that make sense? If you have any questions or comments, make sure to drop a comment below. Love to hear your feedback and let me know what's a struggle with growing your 7-figure contracting business. What's something like a wall that you've been running into, or pitfall or struggle that you've had? Love to hear from you. So number 3, we're moving on here. So the next big thing with scaling a contracting company is your hiring and onboarding. And I find this lacking in a lot of companies is, as the business owner yourself, you're probably pretty decent with people. You can kind of get a read on people to, figure out if they're going to be a good hire or not. Or maybe you're just of the, hire 3 people, fire 2, and hopefully 1 works out. But having a good hiring and onboarding process is going to make a huge difference, especially as you grow and scale, because right now, maybe you've got, anywhere from 5 to 10 employees. Once you start to scale beyond 10, 15, 20 employees, the whole hiring and onboarding is super critical, because culture plays a much bigger role, because you're not going to be able to be, checking and kind of coordinating everybody all the time, as well as, having people in places that, where they're just kind of good enough or not really doing a great job. They may be losing money from the company. They may be a bad fit, for culture, for skills, what have you. So the hiring and onboarding process is super important. So you want to have some standardized questions that you're doing during the hiring. so that you standardize questions and like things beyond the surface level. So there's a whole like science that goes into this, but this is a big one. And then the onboarding process. So you've invested this time to put out advertising, to prospect for new clients, to go through the hiring process. You found the guy, the girl that's, you're going to hire into the company. They get started and a month, they're gone, things didn't work out. And now you got to go through that whole process again. So onboarding is super critical beyond the hiring, that you are communicating with them properly during the onboarding. You've got a process in place so that they know what's happening. You've got an employee handbook. You've got a training program to get them, spun up on the different systems that you use, the different skills they're going to need to know. Make sure that they know who to go to if there's any problems or issues, that your employee turnover rate isn't getting too high, because that's going to be costing you money. And when you hire, when you have good people, you want to make sure that you're bringing them into your business and that you're setting them up for success. All right, so I'm going to be sharing with you number 4 and number 5 here in just a moment. Make sure you watch the end. Each one of these is super critical. Each one builds off the previous one. And the next one I'm going to mention is doing the work once. So building systems, having a system for systems. It's maybe going a little bit high level here, but as a business owner, you need to take that 10,000, 30,000 foot view and really be able to oversee the whole functions of a business and look at how do I create a system of systems. So you have to have like standard documentation of standard operating procedures, standard softwares, all these things that work across your organization. When you just try to piecemeal this and that and this thing and the other thing, it just becomes an organizational mess. And what I said earlier about doing the work once is whenever you're doing something, ask yourself, how can I do this once and continue to be paid for it forever into the future? So that will be like a light bulb, a turning event in your business. How do you only do a sales process once, right? Not that you're not going to be updating and perfecting it, but when you've done something and you're good at it, you need to write it out, build a system, process it, and delegate it. So you've done that job, you did it once, and now you're able to delegate it and give it to someone else, and it will continue to pay you into the future and beyond. If you want help with all this, I know it's a little high level and the soul systems things can be very maybe intimidating at first. Maybe you've tried some and it didn't work out. Reach out to me. Me and my team will love to help you with this. That's what we do with our clients. There are links in the description below. Go check those out. You won't be disappointed. So another great thing to ask about this is if you had to do a certain task 1,000 times, how would you want to do it? So if you had to take a phone call 1,000 times, would you want to be just winging it every single time for every single client? If you had to hire someone 1,000 times, would you want to be going through the same process that you're doing now every single time? Probably not. So that's another good light bulb effect where when you're building these systems, if I was going to do this 1,000 times, if I was going to delegate this to a project manager, would I want them doing, phoning all the trades 1,000 times for every project? Or would I want to create a system that notifies the trades automatically and my project manager is just following up to make sure, the ones that missed the email or that, have critical, path tasks are getting notified. So think about that. If I had to do this 1,000 times, is this how I'd want to be doing it? Would I be wanting to do this 1,000 times, or would I want to delegate this to someone else? So take the time, do the work once, continue to get paid well into the future for the work that you're doing right now. So the fifth and final thing I'm going to mention here, and probably the most important as far as like super critical for your success at this very moment, is client management. So the client experience is going to be the most important part of a construction business's success, because if you are client fanatic, if your clients leave your service after you've finished their renovation or their electrical or their roof or whatever it is that you do, and they're like, wow, that was such a great experience. Everyone tells me contracting and working with contractors is so difficult and communication really sucks, but these guys were on the ball. I knew where the financials were at. I knew where the schedule was at. They did what they said they would. That was just an amazing experience. If you can get that kind of a reaction, you will never have problems charging what you should be charging, being profitable, attracting good employees, the whole works, right? So everything revolves around that client experience, as well as the financial side of things of managing the financial part of the whole client management experience will be super critical. A lot of guys don't want to share financial information too much with clients, but if you can really show them that you care and trust and them to handle the finances properly, and you can show them that'll just go a million miles for them. So those are the big 5. Check out the links in the description below. I've got free templates, free courses, bunch of great information, more stuff for you to get involved with. As always, check out the other videos on this channel. Tons of great content coming at you. We'll see you on the next one.